Codenames Family Edition, the game where you get to be a clue maker and everyone else has to figure out what clues you're trying to decide. Be the first team to uncover or cover their pieces. This is a 2 to 8 player game for ages 8 and up, and in this video we are going to go through how to play the game, including how to set it up, how to win, gameplay each turn, and rules. Stay to the end though, because I do have some house rules that I recommend for anyone who has Codenames Disney. Everything in the box I've taken out and just laid it down, so let's talk about the setup. So there are 2 different kinds of black cards. You've got cards that have blank back and then cards that have the Disney heads on them, or sorry, the Mickey Mouse heads on them. And this is just an indication of how difficult they are to play or how big of a game it is. And here's just an example. You can see there's a grid, a 4x4 grid here, and a 5x5 grid here. So the more advanced ones have a bigger game board, and it just makes it a little bit more difficult. If this is your first time playing, I recommend doing the 4x4. Even if you're a full-grown adult like me, it's just more fun because it's a quicker gameplay. So in this case, we're going to be setting up the beginner board, which is you just have your cards, and there are a ton of cards in the deck. I just pulled out a handful here, and you place them, if you're doing the blank decks, in a 4x4 grid. And this is random. It doesn't matter what order you put them in. You can put the remaining cards to the side. Okay. And on one side of the board, you place the colored cards here, the tan cards, the black card, and the grid cards here. You'll notice there is one card that has one side is red and one side is blue. You'll just put that to the side for now. And then you've got a token card. It's just this little Mickey Mouse with a line on it. It will be holding one of these cards, and I'll show you that in a second. But first is deciding who's on whose team. So you're going to split into 2 teams, and then on each team there will be one person that will be a clue master. If you're the clue master, you're going to be on the side of the board that has this token and all of these cards laid out as such. Once each team has a clue maker, you'll go ahead and pull a card from this pile, and without showing any of the teams, you'll look at it. And for the sake of this video, this is what it looks like, but don't show them. And then you place it in your little token, your Clue Master token. So now both of you are looking at a grid, and this grid shows you on the outside there is a red lights. That means 2 things. 1, the extra card goes to the red team, and 2, the red team goes first. Place that back here. Now you are ready to get started and play. So how do you win? Before we talk about gameplay, let's get down to the real important stuff. The way to win is on this card, shows you, if you're on the blue team, shows you all the blue spaces that you need to be at. So your goal is to cover all of these blue spaces with your blue cards first before the red team's able to do that. Now let's talk about how you actually win, or what you do during gameplay to make the winning moves. The clue maker, the person who's sitting on this side, is going to look at the grid, and they're going to look at the grid out here, and they're going to correlate, okay, this card correlates with this corner, and this one, as well as these 2. So you're going to keep that in mind and decide which clues you want to do to help your team know which cards to select. So to do this, the clue maker, they say one word that's a clue. They give one clue. For example, princess. And then following the clue, you say a number that's how many cards are associated with that clue. So I'm going to say princess 2. And it just so happens that my team thinks, oh, well, she's a princess, and so they pick on this one. The clue maker, without saying anything, places one of their cards over it. Now I said 2, so they get 2 guesses, and that one, so they do another one. Then it's the red's turn. And red looks at this and goes, green 4. And the team looks at it and they go, well, there are 4 cards with green in it. So I'm gonna say this one, because she has a green face. And without saying anything, the red covers it. This one has a green background, covers it. This one has a green background too. And he's got a green face as well. So in one turn, one clue gave away the position of 4 different cards. Let's say though, blue's team, they look at this and they go, human 1. The clue maker could have meant this human, but they could have meant this human. And so say they select this one and the clue maker meant that one. Well, lucky them, because there's actually blue on both sides. So the clue maker meant this one, the team thought she meant this one. The clue maker just gets to place a card. Even though it's not the one they were talking about, they got lucky. But let's say they selected the wrong one. Let's say we said human and they decided, and the team went, oh, she's human, right? And she clicks, they select this one. Well, as you can see in this card, this one's not blue, so the blue team doesn't get the card correct. It is tan though. And so you have to cover it with tan, and that team's turn is over. Let's say though that they give away a clue and the team actually selects a card from the other team. Well, the other team gets to place their card and the blue team's turn is over and the red team gets the chance for more cards. Okay, as you've noticed probably as we're playing this game, is there is an extra card right here. It's a black card. And what is that? Because we haven't talked about it. Well, in the more advanced version of the game with these cards on it, it's a 5x5 grid and there's actually a black space included. So in the advanced version, you have a 5x5 grid and you have this black card that goes into play. And this black card, if the team accidentally guesses it, that team loses automatically. So for example, if I was the clue maker and I said princess 1, for example, the team may accidentally go, well, she's a princess, so they guess this one. Oops, that's actually a black space and that team automatically loses. As for rules, the clue can't actually be the name of the character. For example, the name of this character is Hopper. The clue maker can't say Hopper 1. That would be against the rules because his character's name is actually Hopper. That's against the rules. So blue gets to place one of their pieces for free. The red team's turn is automatically done and it's the blue team's turn. Another cool rule is if the clue maker says something, a hint, for example, and they said technology 1, and the team goes, oh, well, he's wearing technology, and they select him, get it right. Well, because they got all the clues that the number of clues that the clue maker indicated for that turn, they get another guess. Just one, but another guess. And in this case, they might even be able to guess the right one, and they just won the game. Another rule is you have to make a guess. Let's say your team is looking at the board and you say critter 1 and the team goes, I don't know if, this could be a critter, this could be a critter, this could be a critter. I don't know which one to choose. The team has to choose at least one, and they might choose the right one, but they might choose the wrong one, and that doesn't matter. You just have to at least make one guess per turn. Now let's talk about house rules. There's one house rule that it's technically not a rule, it's more of a way of playing. And that is, if you are on the team, you're not a clue maker, you can say whatever you want. There's no rules against you speaking. So you might want to give tips to the clue maker and say, hey, if it's princess, if these two are one of them, you may want to say princess. And so the clue maker will look at it, and if they line up and they go, oh, well, princess, and it's a pretty easy go, okay, there you go. That's technically not against the rules, but there are some houses are some people that I play with that don't like that way because it's not cheating, but it is a tricky way of helping the clue maker figure stuff out. The downside of this, though, if you do make it a strategy that you play, for example, then the clue maker may have had something in mind, and then you say something outrageous like, if it's these two characters, say W, and say maybe they wanted to say W for something else, then they wouldn't be able to because you've associated it with that. So it's a double-edged sword, but it is a fun way of playing, and I've had a lot of fun with it myself. Hopefully this video was helpful for you, and now you're able to play Codenames Disney Edition. If you have any questions or recommendations for players, please leave a comment below and like this video if it was helpful. Subscribe to my channel as I have more videos like this, including how to play Codenames and strategies for playing Codenames as well. You might want to check it out. They are somewhat applicable to this game. Thanks again so much for watching and enjoy playing.